Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a brand new movie review. This one is for Captain America Brave New World. This is the fourth Captain America movie, now following Sam Wilson as our current Captain America. We'll follow him in this political thriller, trying to figure out who is causing mayhem in Washington, D.C. Starting off, I really appreciate the much more serious tone. You can very much feel Brave New World try to emulate Winter Soldier vibes. Though MCU human is at a minimum, you still get it here and there, but for the most part, the movie keeps it pretty serious. And once the plot starts kicking in, you are intrigued to see Sam Wilson trying and figure out what is going on. Sam Wilson himself, Anthony Mackie, I think he's charismatic. He's a different Captain America than Steve Rogers, obviously, but what he brings to the world, I really enjoy. Also, his relationship with Torres, the new Falcon, I thought really it really worked. It's a fun character, but one of the highlights in the relationship I like most was that of Sam Wilson and Isaiah Bradley. Carl Lumley returns in the role after being introduced in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series, which I would say that is pretty much required viewing going into this movie because you're just going to miss a lot of this character or the character of Isaiah Bradley, and he's kind of important in the movie. So I think seeing Falcon the Winter Soldier the series before watching this is really great. It will help you understand some of the elements in the plot. Also, you saw it in the trailers, something happens where he gets manipulated into trying to taking down the president, and all of the elements of the movie, whether it's the war threats or the appearance of adamantium and countries trying to be the first one after it, the thing that hit me the most was the personal problem Sam Wilson had with Isaiah Bradley being framed for this, being sent back to prison, and what that meant to the character. I thought that was really strong here. Also, Captain America Brave New World feels like more of a sequel to The Incredible Hulk than I ever thought would get. I actually think they could have benefit if they lean into that even more because I really like those connections in this movie. Now, does the movie have any flaws? Well, I'll say it has some flaws. So, one, the superhero CGI is a bit too much, especially because some of the most grounded action sequences with Tom Clancy elements, and those elements really hit hard. You're like, yeah, this is great, and it's so real. And then boop, they go over to a CGI action sequence that sometimes look too cartoonish, and you don't buy that it's real. And you see a little bit of that from the trailers, and then I'm sorry, Sam, but again, you got to take the serum. I think the movie has some nice speeches about why he doesn't need the super soldier serum, but I gotta tell you, I think he needs the serum. I would say he's bordering on irresponsible at this point because he simply cannot operate at the level that he needs to take on Avengers level or just Captain America level threats. I know he's got a fancy new suit in this movie, but seeing him in some of the action sequences here and getting hit very hard, it's just totally unreasonable. So it's really no reason because Bucky took the serum and he's okay. And Steve Rogers took the serum and he was okay too. So I think he's going to really need him for the big villains. Now, moving on to the director, Julius Owner, I think he does a fantastic job here. This man has studied the Tom Clancy films and it's fantastic. It feels cinematic with the lighting here and framing and the camera placement. There are so many shots that are just gorgeous, especially in IMAX. I really like that element of the film a lot. The fact that this is a top-notch Tom Clancy filmmaking, and then Anthony Mackie is in the center of it. Having a black lead is iconic. It's a very big deal, and the movie realized that, and it doesn't need to say anything about that. It's just by doing it, and that's what is iconic, and that is what is a big step forward. And I think that's really impressive. Also, I find very interesting the Brave New World and Thunderbolts. Both seem to spin out of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and the both movies personify Sam and Bucky independently because while they both believe in redemption, only Bucky has needed to be redeemed. Sam wasn't. He's not a broken man. He's had his problem, obviously, but not compared to everybody else. And that is a huge part of his character. And I think that's really interesting. And here in the film, he's dealing either uh, two men who are very broken, President Ross and Isaiah Bradley. And just as he was doing when we first met him, Sam Wilson is still counseling veterans and pulling them from the brink. And it's beautiful. I'll say it's poetic. And I think it's really strong here. I'll say some of my favorite part of this film are the Tom Clancy style government thriller sequences. Like this looks so good. Also, the acting of Anthony Mackie, Danny Ramirez, Harrison Ford, and Carl Lumbly, he's going to break your heart here. And then and I also love the big battle carrier sequence. I really like that as well. I thought that the CGI there blended very nicely. Now, other cast members in the film, Shara Haas' character has little to no development, which is weird because how would an Israeli end up in the Red Room, the Black Widow program, and then end up working for the US government? That's quite the path, and to not explore it at all is underwhelming. And even worse, for a Black Widow character, she has no real big action sequences. I think they could have done more with her character. And Giancarlo Esposito does an excellent job as one of Cap's lesser villains. I really like this character actually quite a bit. And Esposito, by the way, he managed to make this character seem very unique, despite the fact that Esposito seems to be everywhere these days. He did a great job here, and he was a more grounded villain to Anthony Mackie's captainamerica to fight, and I really like those fight sequences between them. Now, John Blake Nelson. I'm not going to say too many details about his character here and how he ties in into the story here. But I thought he was okay. He did a fine job with the role here. And the Red Hawk here, Harrison Ford seemed very committed to the character and looks like he was having a very fun time with the character, giving it all. And I really like the design of the Red Hawk here and the fight sequence between Captain America and Red Hawk. It was a blast to watch, and especially on the big IMAX screen. It was very entertaining to watch. Now, as someone who loves action movies and political trailers, I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was great. It made me think. It has heart, and it not only feels like a Captain America movie, but a Marvel movie, and it blends in well, and I like that. So I recommend you go and check it out and see for yourself because I did have a fun time watching this movie. And the movie only has one post credit scene, so stay for that.